Hi, PerspectiveWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, August 14th. Still somewhat of an unsettled weather pattern in the Mid-Atlantic region. There can be scattered showers and thunderstorms today and tonight. Saturday itself could turn out to be a decent day in places like New York City, maybe even down to Philadelphia, although scattered showers and thunderstorms are a continuing problem, a continuing threat in the D.C. metro region on Saturday. And then from Saturday night into Sunday, it looks like another low pressure system will ride up along that frontal boundary zone that has been stalled out in the region for the past few days. That will increase the chance for showers and thunderstorms Saturday night into Sunday, especially in those areas south of the Mason-Dixon line where some of the rain can be heavy. It's a little too early to say if the heavy rain threat will extend up into southeastern Pennsylvania and central part of New Jersey later Saturday night into Sunday. That is on the table. More likely there'll be heavy rainfall associated with that low pressure system south of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border, places like D.C., Delmarva Peninsula, maybe even southern New Jersey. And of course, all areas have saturated ground, so any kind of heavy rainfall, especially tomorrow night into Sunday, can lead to renewed flooding concerns. Again, especially the threat exists south of the Pennsylvania-Maryland border. So before we get into the local weather situation, let's take a look at the tropical scene. We have a couple systems to talk about this morning. First of all, we have the 10th named tropical system of the season right now in the Atlantic Basin, Josephine. It became a tropical storm yesterday. It is the earliest recorded 10th storm of a tropical season, besting the 2005 season by about a week or 10 days or so. We have had a record number of storms, but only 2 of them so far have actually reached hurricane level, one being Isaias, which briefly reached hurricane status, and the other being Hannah, which again only lasted a day or two as a hurricane as it slid into the southern part of Texas a couple of weeks ago. We have another system now that very well could become a named tropical system, but it is moving away from the U.S. coast and should have little, if any, impact inland, maybe some rough surf across coastal sections of New Jersey and the Delmarva Peninsula. But again, that is moving away, and the long-term prospects for Josephine are not all that favorable as well. It is a tropical storm, likely to remain a tropical storm for a while, but then encounter some increasing wind shear as it starts to push to the north and eventually to the north and east, never having a chance, it looks like, to reach the east coast of the U.S. And the reason is, and we'll go into this in a moment, we have a trough that will be first situated and developing over in this region right here, and then it'll continue, become a progressive trough, move into this position right here, and winds flow in this fashion around a trough that can be centered, let's say, right in this region right here. And notice the winds in this region right here coming out of the south or southwest, and as Josephine moves up in that direction, that west to east moving trough will really help to steer it away from the east coast, and the increasing southwesterly wind shear will help to weaken it as well. So it really has 2 strikes going against it. One is, it looks like it'll be basically pushed away from the U.S. East Coast by this incoming trough, and this incoming trough will also help to weaken it as there will be increasing southwesterly shear in the low and middle parts of the atmosphere. Well, in fact, let's take a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly forecast maps, and we'll kind of focus in on this developing trough. It's not really all that noticeable right now, but right here you see a little bit of blue over the Tennessee Valley as we begin the day on Friday. But watch what happens here over the next 48 hours. It deepens. Here we are now, 24 hours later, Saturday morning, and this is an important trough, and it continues to hang around the eastern seaboard and continues to basically move from the west to the east this morning over the Tennessee Valley, and by Sunday morning along the east coast. And notice this region right here, we have heights going up from the southwest to the northeast, and that is a southwesterly flow of air in the low and middle levels of the atmosphere. Again, that will help to steer away Josephine before it ever has a chance to reach the east coast. And these increasing winds out of the southwest in the lower and middle parts of the atmosphere by the end of the weekend, early part of next week, will also help to weaken Josephine. Also, this same trough will help to steer the current system that is situated right in this region right here off to the north and east. Again, it may indeed become a tropical storm, but again, it will continue to move off to the east-northeast as this incoming trough moves in. We'll go a little bit farther ahead in time, and a lot of troughiness over the eastern seaboard going well into next week. And first thing that this tells you is that temperatures will not get all that hot. In fact, we'll be cooler than normal for much of the time over the next several days. Meanwhile, look at this out in the western U.S. This is the forecast map as of Tuesday afternoon for the height anomalies. This is a real heat wave out here. They'll have some record-breaking heat associated with that upper level ridge. Meanwhile, in the east, some cooler than normal temperatures. This is possible on Sunday, for example. In D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, high temperatures don't get out of the 70s, well below normal for this time of the year. And the other thing this trough tells you along the eastern seaboard, it'd be very difficult for tropical systems to make it all the way to the east coast, let's say from off of Africa or anything that develops over the western Atlantic. As long as you have this trough in place, that'll kind of reduce the chances of tropical systems from heading into the U.S., at least along the eastern seaboard. You may recall many times I've noted that better pattern for getting more of a threat of tropical systems is to have high pressure ridging over the southeastern part of Canada. That allows for tropical systems to kind of undercut that ridge and move into the Gulf of Mexico or the southeast U.S. and the Caribbean as well. But again, a deep upper level trough sets up, at least temporarily, along the eastern seaboard, and a very strong upper level ridge out across the western U.S. Well, let's now focus in on the surface forecast maps from the operational run of the GFS at 0Z. Again, we have an unsettled weather pattern, a stalled out frontal system in the Mid-Atlantic region. That front will sag just enough to the south on Saturday as high pressure builds across southeastern Canada to allow for pretty decent weather in New York City, maybe even in Philadelphia as well. Not quite as promising in D.C., although it will not certainly be an all-day type of rain on Saturday in D.C., just scattered showers and thunderstorms. Then one final low-pressure system looks like it'll ride up along that stalled-out frontal boundary zone, increasing the chances again for showers and thunderstorms on Saturday night into Sunday, especially from areas south of the Mason-Dixon line, D.C., Delmarva, southern part of New Jersey. Maybe some of that rainfall, even heavy possibility, can extend into southeastern Pennsylvania and central New Jersey. Here we begin the day on Friday. Here's that, what could become, again, a tropical named system. It's really a debate whether it's tropical or subtropical. Nevertheless, it's moving off to the east-northeast and will have little impact inland, maybe produce some rip currents across the western part of the Atlantic off of New Jersey and the Delmarva. Let's move forward here. Again, scattered showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and tonight, especially from southern Pennsylvania on south. Notice this high pressure area building over southeastern part of Canada. That keeps us a little bit cooler than normal in the Mid-Atlantic region with a low-level east to northeast flow of air. That's a good thing this time of the year whenever you have an east to northeast low-level flow of air. It reduces the chance for any kind of heat wave. And here we go now into Saturday, still strong high pressure over southeastern Canada. And notice here by tomorrow afternoon, another low-pressure system starting to show up here on the maps. Again, a stalled-out frontal boundary zone. That frontal boundary zone kind of acts as a conduit for low pressures to ride up along, a nice track for these systems to ride up along. And here GFS puts out some heavy rain as early as tomorrow afternoon across places like western Virginia, southwestern Pennsylvania, and then as that low pressure moves pretty much on top of the DC metro region by later tomorrow night, early Sunday, some of that rain, heavy at times, will extend to the north and east into the DC metro region, maybe even into south central and southeastern Pennsylvania. Certainly Delmarva Peninsula has a chance for some heavy rain activity late tomorrow night into Sunday. Here's the forecast map for Sunday morning. Again, putting out some good rainfall, especially south of the Mason-Dixon line, perhaps as far north. A little more questionable whether that heavy rain reaches southeastern Pennsylvania, but more likely over D.C., Delmarva, southern part of New Jersey, and that finally pulls away by later Sunday, and we tend to have improving weather by the time we go into the early part of next week. And again, all these systems moving away from the East Coast, including Josephine, which looks like it has little, if any, chance at all to come close to the East Coast because of that incoming trough of low pressure in the mid and upper parts of the atmosphere. And that will tend to keep us cooler than normal much of the time over the next several days while the western U.S. bakes. They will have a heat wave there. You'll hear on the news breaking some high temperature records in the desert southwest. A very hot spell coming up for the desert southwest, while the eastern U.S. stays at or below normal in terms of temperatures for the next several days. That's it for now. For PerspectiveWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.